Don't forget you can keep in touch with us. We are on all forms of social media. #NEOpen. We would love to hear your thoughts and comments as the games progress and as the weekend progresses. We've already had a tweet from Jess Thirlby, who is watching from Australia, trying to make sure she can stay awake through the jet lag. So hi Jess, nice to see you keeping in touch. We start with a Republic of Ireland centre. Already having to go backwards.
Good pressure from England defence to start off with, and I think it's going to be who gets to settle first here. You know, both teams are going to be trying to work each other out. Good intercept there by England, and they'll be wanting to bring this to an early goal.
Fumi Fadoju there at wing defence, who we've seen at all age groups in this Netball Europe competition.
This year. Yeah.
Fortunately, that shot doesn't count. Ball being recycled again by the Republic of Ireland. Well kept in there. And England are putting pressure on all the way through the court, aren't they?
Yeah. Ireland just finding it difficult to get those connections yet, but there's Genevieve Slater, and we were just chatting before we started about how much she likes to hunt for those balls, so England need to be wary of that.
She was definitely missed, wasn't she, in the last competition?
Yeah.
Good patience from England, waiting for the baseline to open up, but another obstruction call there, called against Sienna Rushton. Yaz Parsons at wing attack. And captain, quite a seasoned player, Yaz Parsons. Played a lot in the Super League, currently plays for Surrey Storm. Kira Rothwell with the first goal for England. And the second on the board. Republic of Ireland will want to be making sure they get this one to goal so that that gap doesn't grow. We've seen that quite a lot, haven't we, when England come to these tournaments. If they get a run, they can tend to make a really quick gap in a short space of time.
Yeah. So Ireland just struggling a wee bit with the hands and the pressure that England are able to put on in that attacking end for Ireland, but Genevieve Slater gets the ball again, and Ireland have another chance here. Duffy did well there, just opening up by that strong drive through the middle.
It's nicer work, isn't it, in terms of creating space by Republic of Ireland. John Hines gets them off the board. John Hines looking for 100th cap. She's very close to that, isn't she? Sat on
95 at the minute.
95. Beautiful feed and vision there by Yaz Parsons into Sienna Rushton. There's quite a height difference as well in that circle, isn't there? Sienna Rushton has a good couple of inches on Genevieve Slater at the back.
And what we've seen so far as well is that she has a lovely lean out wide, looking for the ball to the space, as well as being able to use that height vertically as well.
Really quick take of the pass there by Niamh. Don't see that very often, do you? England really patient, aren't they, on that build-up, just using the backup.
Rushton did a lovely job just coming out wide then and just creating that space for her to drive in right under the post again. So yeah, England able to get those nice shots close to the post. They want to get that high accuracy shots.
Good shot there by Kira Rothwell. Nice reverse screen there for Jan Hines. Opens up Duffy, but can't quite get that ball to sink, can they, Republic of Ireland at the moment?
No, and that's now 3.
It's always a difficult one, that one, for a defender, isn't it? When your partner's been taken out of play. Do you mark the front? Do you mark the back? Do you mark the ball?
Is it one of those ones where you just try and confuse as much space as possible?
And that's the hole that you were talking about with that nice reach out. Genevieve Slater's going to have to run her feet hard around that one. And we see Yaz Parsons do that really well in Super League as well, don't we? That weighted pass just seems to have the right amount of air on it to drop perfectly at the defender's reach. Unfortunately there by Ashley and Sweeney. She did well to try and keep that in, but couldn't quite get it to the hands of a teammate.
And England pushed their lead out to 7 goals, and it's England's centre pass again. So it's important for Ireland now just to be able to slow this attack down, slow their centre pass down. So Jenkinson goes down with an injury.
I think she just got caught in the face potentially on that. So it's a really strong start for the moment for England. What is it that they're doing at the moment in defence to stop Republic of Ireland getting those balls to goal from their centre pass, and what do the Republic of Ireland need to change?
I think, so whenever Ireland are coming out, they're being forced to look back, they're being forced to look sideways, they're really struggling to get that straight line ball through. So it maybe needs to be either Fanning or Duffy just driving straight through and at least creating a bit more space in the attacking third, rather than playing a lot of ball around that transverse line and giving England those chances to get the steal.
And we've seen Fumi Fidoju get quite a few just with her arms, haven't we? Arms over the ball, trying to get round the arms when they're that strong also makes it difficult to get that forward option.
And they seem to be anticipating where that next pass is going, so they're able then to pounce on it with that extra bit of reach they have.
So we have obviously a substitution. We'll give you the full details of that when we get them. We very much hope that Holly Jenkinson recovers quite quickly. Yaz Parsons back in possession of the ball. Pushes it out to an 8-goal lead for England. Republic of Ireland centre pass. Oh, just a fumble there. And again, England using that ball really well to send it back, but great defence there by Genevieve Slater, taking the front position and going up for that. Nice straight line ball, that's the drives that you were talking about before, Nolene, just driving forwards and making sure that they had that forward option. Really nice to see from Duffy, but again, 3 England players around one ball. Where are the options for them?
Great take there by Rushton, and she gets a rebound, pops it away.
Oh, I was just about to say lovely defence.
Yeah.
Just caught the arm on the way through.
As a coach, do you want that ball going to your shooter whenever they're 2-on-1? Is that the option that you would be taking?
Me? No.
Would maybe be passing it out and around.
Play yourself in.
Yeah.
And again, going backwards.
Yeah, you can see Reynolds was trying to do that drive across, but then Odbourne was just pushing her up high, so it was a really short pass, and then the goal attack then wasn't confident in feeding it, so had to go back, had to get turned over.
Zara Everett getting her hands to that. Not quite enough to keep it in, but enough to disrupt the play. See if Channel shoot from here. They're really forcing them to take the higher percentage shots, aren't they? Keeping them away from the post. Good rebound there by Duffy. Good shot. Well needed for Republic of Ireland at this point in time.
They'll be wanting to keep in touch, not letting that scoreline just keep moving wider and wider.
Obstruction called against Genevieve Slater this time. And here's that front hold. Sienna Rushton just keeping that space in front. So the changes for you that have been made with Holly Jenkinson going off. Ashley Sweeney has gone to goal defence, and we see Erin Peters come on at wing defence. Nice in and out there by Kira Rothwell with Yaz Parsons. Get close to post. I think that's a little quiet word there to Genevieve Slater. Umpire looked as though she was talking about her arms maybe being a little bit out, just giving her a quiet word, telling her how to adjust that behaviour. And obstruction the opposite way.
And it is going to be in this first quarter. The players are working out what the umpires are going to let them away with, how much contact they can have. Yeah,
good intercept there by Zara Everett. She just stop moving towards that ball. Is it tighter than you expected so far, or bigger than you expected, 14-2?
I think the frustrating thing probably for Ireland at the minute is they're getting the ball into the circle. They just haven't been able to get the shots away. So I don't know if the scoreline is... I think Ireland will be disappointed with it at the minute, but I think England have been very settled and quite clinical in what they're doing at the minute. You know, I'm sure they've had goals whenever they're coming out into, you know, to play this game. And working towards them at the minute.
That's a classic 2-second ball, isn't it? Look for the first option. Should I give it? And then when you do give it, someone's ready to pounce.
Again, the pressure over the ball is forcing that high ball, and then it's given the likes of Odburn there the chance to get onto that lifted ball.
And England's transition speed is something Sam Byrne and Emily Perry must be quite happy with at the moment. They're not hanging around, are they?
Absolutely.
And a lovely shot to finish. Coming back again, Republic of Ireland just struggling to find that depth. It's a nice swing though there by Niamh Reynolds. Ooh, footwork call. It's against a team like this, those little errors you're going to get punished for, aren't you?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, good shut down there by Republic of Ireland. They squeezed them all together.
Yeah. And that's the thing, they need to be able to slow the England team down so that they aren't able to do that lovely transition that we were just talking about, make decisions, change whichever pass there is that they're going so they're not able to get into that groove.
Two people running on that ball. But again, it's difficult to see around those arms. Kira Rothwell had really good arms over. Very clinical performance here so far by England.
Lovely ball, opening up the space there.
It's one of those brave swings, isn't it? Over two channels, but ultimately It was the only space available.
You can see Genevieve there wanting, looking to anticipate where the ball's going.
It must be quite hard as a defender when you've got Sienna Rushton at the back, who is such a target, to judge that when to go out and when to stay.
Yeah. It's one of those steals, if you get it, it's amazing, but then if you mistime it and you're there too soon, yeah, you're leaving Rushton just wide open under the post. But Ireland have the ball again. I'm bringing this through the court better.
Just a fumble there, unfortunately, by Niamh Reynolds, but in fairness to her, the ball was passed reasonably to her knees.
Yeah.
Great drive there by Jazz Parsons. And Jazz Odiobrun in so much space, isn't she?
Yeah.
That brings up the 20 goals for England. Defence for England choosing to double on Jan Hines, but then picking up Duffy really well. Wow. 20 goals to 2 first quarter. That's quite a heavy scoreline, isn't it, to start with?
Yeah. I think Ireland will be disappointed with their shooting, and then as the quarter went on, I think they were then starting to look wider and look back rather than trying to drive that ball through into the circle. But yeah, I think England will be very happy with that start.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because you could see England were keeping them off the circle edge, and they're driving at the defender, then seeing them, and then driving back.
Yeah, making more work for themselves. Yeah.
Rather than we saw England going hard, so we had a couple of times where Jazz or Jazz, that's fun.
Yeah.
Jazz Parsons or Jazz Odiobrun would drive hard into the pocket, but that would take the defence with them, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and then they can hit that top of the circle, or else they just swing the ball around, and then Rothwell's just doing a lovely job driving to the ball, and then they were just placing those lovely feeds into Sienna Rushton, and yeah, lovely target, and able to use the width and her wingspan to get the ball in really nice shooting positions.
Yeah, and the defence of England as well, they've just got the world's longest arms.
Yeah. It makes it really difficult to see the right option at the right time for Ireland then.
And do you find that Ireland are starting to hold the ball a bit low as well, almost feeling the pressure of that rather than standing up tall to it?
I think we saw that there whenever Niamh Reynolds was trying to catch that ball at her knees. You know, Ireland are just being under pressure, so they feel forced to give a ball, you know, and it's maybe not getting up nice and tall, being able to give a good ball off.
So if you're coaching the Republic of Ireland at this point in time, bearing in mind 18 goals down, what would you be saying to them? What would you be looking for them to change?
I think on their centre pass that the second ball needs to be going forward, but then they need to be creating strong drives to be able to create that space, you know, or to be able to create that option. I think they have lovely support play there, you know, and they need to keep that patience, but then they can't be constantly looking back. They need to keep attacking the ball forward.
Yeah, and meeting it as well.
Yeah.
And if you were England, I mean, this is a team that's quite a young team, and they're looking potentially, I would imagine, for some of these players to be playing in the 2021 World Youth Cup. So this is a fantastic opportunity for these players. But how would, as a coach now, do you use this? Because that's quite difficult as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
18 goals up to keep that momentum.
Absolutely. I'm sure there are set targets for each of the positional areas on the court, and they'll just be reminding them of those. I think probably there's just been a few times because they maybe have an expectation of where the defence is going to go, or where the where their next movement's going to be. But if the defence don't come with them or shift as they think they would, that there might be a bit of miscommunication there. So I suppose the thing for them is making sure that their connections are right the whole way through the court. You know, that they're working on that relationship with each other. Throughout the quarter.
Don't forget, you can keep us informed. keep in tune with us, keep in touch with us. We would love to hear your comments. Hashtag NEOpen. You can give us a shout out on Twitter, on Facebook, or on Instagram. We would absolutely love to hear your comments, hear your thoughts. Budding coaches, we'd love to hear your coaching tips. Budding umpires, we'd like to hear your thoughts as well. UOB Sports Scholarships have given Kira Rothwell a shout out. Good luck to her in the Open Championship campaign today. Nice to hear from you. We do have some changes for you. Berry Neal is coming on at goal shooter for England, and Sienna Rushton takes to the bench. Looking at the Republic of Ireland team, looks the same to me. Which means that injury to Jenkinson could have been a bit more severe than we thought. Still hope that she recovers quite quickly. Maybe it's just that the coach thinks this is working quite well and she just needs a bit more rest time. England first on the scoreboard. Already Republic of Ireland seem to be attacking a bit stronger, don't they?
Yeah.
There's that drive onto the ball all the way through the court there. Nobody was stood waiting.
Good job by Zara Everett there, confusing that space for the pass to Jan, but Duffy goes and slots that one away.
That's exactly how you want your shoots to start, isn't it?
Yeah.
A long shot as well. Good front hold again by Berry Neal, taking off well where Sienna Rushton finished. Erin Peters, one of the younger players on at wing defence, taking that first into pass. Trish Fanning will get another opportunity to pop that in. She chooses to go over. Just out of court there, unfortunately, for Jan Hines. It's interesting there, 'cause she opted to go over instead of giving the short ball, didn't she? Nice link by Yaz, and then that back pass to Zara Everett, just opening up again the space. They're not happy forwards, they go back, but with purpose, don't they, to swing the ball or change direction.
Yeah, it's always to create something rather than just because.
There's good pressure there by Genevieve Slater on that shot, wasn't there?
Yeah.
She didn't quite go for it first time.
And again, that's where her experience comes in. You know, she's able to change up what she's doing, try and put the shooters under pressure.
Berry Neal slots another one away. Just soft hands there. Means that the Republic of Ireland will get another attempt to take it through the court. Lots of noise when the Republic of Ireland get the ball in the arena as well. Is that them trying to cheer each other on? Is it the England bench causing the pressure?
I don't know, it's a good atmosphere and we like it.
Again, another one off that back line.
Yeah. Slater just gets her hands onto that one.
Just the passing accuracy of these youngsters is just too much.
Again, England defence forcing Ireland to put that ball back, and again they're under pressure again to try and get the ball forward.
Nice communication there between Slater and Peters. Whoa.
And even if Slater doesn't get on the end of that ball, it does put that wee seed of doubt into the mind of either the passer or the people receiving the ball, of whether that's coming again.
athleticism of Yas Parsons through the court then was just phenomenal, wasn't it? She does not mess around. And they're going to have to punch through that, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like drive through the defence rather than behind them, because that's what happens.
England are so aggressive in that first step over the line that it sort of just fills up all the space, so Ireland is struggling to come forward on it.
And here we see the change back with Holly Jenkinson coming back onto court, so thankfully she is okay, and Aisling Sweeney takes to the bench. Defence for the Republic of Ireland causing more pressure now, aren't they, on the English shooters?
Yeah.
They were both in the same space then.
I think that's what both of those defenders do a really good job of, is that man-on-man space, is stopping the drive, staying tight on their players. But just the range of the England shooters is just, and the precision of the place of the pass into the circle as well, is just making it really difficult for them to get hands on anything.
And that's the stuff that you can't coach at the side of the court in the middle of the game, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the hours and hours and hours of training behind the players. Most of these England players, in fact all of them, are connected to some Super League franchise, whether that's at under 21 or senior level.
And that's brilliant, because then you're getting this intensity of netball week in, week out.
Good pressure there by Republic of Ireland. Good strong arms over by Erin Peters.
And Jenkinson with the hand, so Slater picks it up.
And how much of that is a cause of everybody's pressure outside the front of the circle?
And that's one of those things. It's that build-up of pressure. It's not necessarily the person getting the steal at the end of it. You know, it's been caused by that work outside.
Just unfortunate there. Trish Fanning couldn't quite keep that one in. Goes through her hands. But the same the other side.
It's just that communication of where the ball needs to be placed.
I think she's breathing a sigh of relief after that. On one foot, that was a tricky pass to send off, wasn't it? And again, just caught still.
It's one of those things, if you're standing still in the space, England are able to anticipate, and then their speed and athleticism means they're going to get those turnovers.
And you only learn that through competition, right?
Yeah.
Slightly too early there by Fumi Fudoju.
Duffy forced to make the long shot there, just unable to get it to drop.
And that's a difficult call as well as a shooter, isn't it? Because the pressure to shoot when you're struggling to get the ball in to the circle must be quite a lot.
Yeah, and then you feel every time you make another pass there's another chance for it to be turned over. But then that's a confidence thing as well. You have to trust that, okay, you'll be able to make that pass off, get it into a better shooting opportunity.
Great defence here between Slater and Duffy. And Republic of Ireland get rewarded for it, and well deserved. They were all over that defensively, weren't they?
Yeah, and it's whenever the ball isn't coming down at speed, whenever they can set up a structure, then they really are hassling the England shooters.
So how do you delay that transition speed as a team? Tricky question.
It is a tricky question. It's one of those ones, whenever it is a turnover and you're away from your player, then you have to be able to get back to them quick enough to be able to stop. To be able to stop their flow of ball in the circle. And there's Jenkinson back again.
I wondered why Neve Reynolds was apologising. That was an offside. Harsh. Again, another break-in.
Those are the sort of things that England will be keen to not let creep into their game, even though the scoreline is, it's blown out at the minute. But they'll still want to be playing high-quality netball and not making any unforced errors.
Great finish as well by Berry Neal. Knows where she needs to be under the post. Prelim work there by Yaz Parsons to be free on that centre pass was very good. Any butt-in wing attacks need to watch that. We talk about that a lot, don't we, in terms of netball, that the work off the ball needs to be high.
Yep. Like, you know where you want to receive the ball, but you can't be there too early because, there'll be those turnovers. So it's being able to convince the defence that you're moving one direction and then cutting.
Oh, she's cross with herself, shaking the head. But she's got to go for them, right? Because otherwise it's going in.
And I think as a defender, you're just going to have to keep changing things up, and it might not work all the time, but then you'll get that steal, get that turnover, make it worthwhile. England forcing Ireland either to go across or go back. They're really struggling to get that ball forward into the attacking third at the minute.
Good shot there again by Berry Neal.
She held her space lovely there and they were able to recognise it, and just beautiful pass in, so she was travelling towards the post. Yaz Parsons did a great job there of really looking like she wanted the ball, and which then committed Slater to open Berry Neal again under the post.
And what's interesting, the difference between Republic of Ireland defence and England defence is when the Republic of Ireland are on turnover, the England defence will pick up the nearest player or the nearest ball to. So when we were talking about that, stopping that transition speed, to try and stop that pass or make that pass look not on, so they've got to hold it for a second longer. Whereas when we see a turnover the other side, they're trying to find their own player and head in for them, aren't they? And that's that constant chasing then, and it's a real different strategy, and you've got to believe in your teammates to back you up, because if you go on someone else's player, you need them to go on yours, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's that speed that we were talking through all the way through. Can see the England bench warming up at the side of the court. Do you think we'll see some changes at half-time potentially?
Yeah, I think this is an opportunity for both teams to rotate through, get all their players on the court, try different things. And see if we can keep the momentum going through.
Great drive into the circle there by Kira Rothwell. Score currently sat at 40 goals to 4. Berry Neal recycling just to get a bit closer. She does, and she scores. It's a good tactic to go back, isn't it, if they're doing a jump the line?
Yeah.
I think the only problem Republic of Ireland have at the moment is even when it's going back, the front players are still coming forward, so we're ending up with 5 in the middle.
Yeah.
And that's
there's nobody then to punch through into that space.
Lovely shot there by Duffy. Just a little bit too much on it that time by Jazz Ariabrin.
Good job between Jenkinson and Slater, just between themselves, bringing the ball right up to the third line. Patient play. I spoke too soon. I was going to say it was patient play by Ireland, bringing the ball up the court. Another England turnover.
It's that long ball, isn't it? They played it short, did really well at getting in front, and then someone pinged the long ball in.
We're into the final minute of this first half. So Ireland be looking to try and finish with a score. Needs to go quick.
Umpire just setting it where she wants it.
And Fanning is conscious of the time.
Oh, we can hear her shoot it from somewhere. Oh, a second too late. Unfortunate. So that is half time, and that leads us with 42 goals to England and 5 goals to the Republic of Ireland. So that was a 22-3 quarter. They just push on and push on and push on. So an extra goal that time.
Yeah.
It's a tough ball game, isn't it?
Do you know what it is? It's tough for Ireland at the minute. England are just being very aggressive onto the ball. They're creating those turnovers. I think their defence on the centre pass has been great, and it's been Ireland have really struggled then to be able to capitalise on their centre passes. And then we saw there just in the last couple of minutes, Ireland were being patient, bringing the ball through from that back line, because England are putting the ball off the back line. They're not getting those connections all the time. So they're able to get the ball through nice and patient, and then they think, they need to fire a long ball through, and that's where England's defence are just hunting and just turning that over.
And we talk about netball in different ways, don't we? We've got our tactical and our technical. And how much are the technical skills different between the two teams that you're seeing on the court at the moment?
I think at the minute England are just playing with, they have a confidence in how they're playing. We were talking earlier on about the Ireland people just not being confident in where they want to pass that ball. They're not being sure, purely because of the pressure that they're under as well. So it's being able to play and deliver those skills under pressure. It's fine whenever you've nobody around you, but we're playing in a senior European Championships here, and it's another level. And especially whenever you have the wingspan of some of the England players in front of you, it does make you have to be extremely precise in your passing, in your delivery, and in catching the ball as well.
And we were talking before coming on air, I mean, you've had the experience, haven't you, this year at the World Cup, and come up against some really tough teams. Did you find any games where it was relentless pressure, and how as a player did you cope with that?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things, like at the World Cup you come up against so many different styles of playing, playing against the African nations versus playing against the home nations, or your Scotland, your Wales, your England play, who you normally would play at the European Championships, and they have a totally different style of play. And especially then again to the Caribbean teams, we didn't actually play the likes of Fiji or Samoa, that, so again that's a different style again. So it is that a bit of adjustment, that you need to have your own technical skills sorted and be confident in being able to deliver them based on the different types of pressure that you come under whenever it's that Caribbean style of play you're up against versus playing against the likes of Zimbabwe and Malawi, who we played against both teams at the World Cup, and that was a different ball game again, and where you thought that somebody was free on your team, so you were placing the ball into that space, but yet the Malawian defence or the Zimbabweans were able to anticipate that, so it's that whole adjustment of the different styles of play from the different nations.
So while we've got you here, I'm going to pick your brains about that whole World Cup experience and international netball experience, because it's really easy to sit and watch it and commentate on what's going on from this perspective, but actually being in it, how is it when you walk into an arena such as the World Cup, and it is packed, because they were packed, weren't they, some of those days, with spectators and the noise and a game going on the other side. I mean, how is that as a player?
It was fab. Do you know, like, it's that kind of, that's what you play for, that's what you train for. And, you know, it's not every day that you get to go to a World Cup. It's once every 4 years, and it's not every day that you get to go to a World Cup in your backyard, you know. And I suppose that was so great for England, having the momentum of winning the gold at the Commonwealth Games, and then to be able to host a World Cup 2 years later, or a year later. But yeah, and then for us it was like a home World Cup as well, because so many supporters were able to come over. So then that meant whenever you did step out in the court, you knew you had friends and family, and you know, there was so many of our clubs had come over and supported us as well, and it just makes it that special thing to be a part of. Yeah.
And it's interesting because you talk about the experience of playing all the different styles, so the Caribbean style and the African style, and looking at the teams that we've got on court. You know, we know that England, for instance, are likely to be at that 2021 Fiji World Youth Cup. So these players are going to experience all those different styles, aren't they, out in that tournament?
Yeah, and that's what's so good about having that World Youth Cup, because it is that first exposure for up and coming netballers to a different type of netball. You know, like some of these guys would have played under 17, under 19, and then they're playing in the Super League as well. So they're playing against a similar style of netball each time. It's the European brand of netball. So then once you get to that World Cup stage and World Youth Cup stage, you get to see the flavours that come from the Caribbean nations, from the Oceania countries, and then also the Africans as well. And it's brilliant.
And when you're in that tournament environment, do you know much about what's going on in the outside world? I mean, how much are you allowed to go on social media, see the hype? Because I mean, the hype in England was huge, and the hype in Netball Europe was huge. Can you feel that whilst you're in it, or are you like kept?
Do you know, I think that we were also we were able to get a bit of that buzz as well, because the everything was so close in Liverpool. You know, the hotels were round the corner from the tournament venue, so you were walking through the fan zones, you know, and people were able to meet you for a coffee and things like that. So you really were able to get that bit of a buzz. And then even if you were off social media, if you were looking at the news, you know, it was there, it was in the paper. So that sort of coverage was absolutely fantastic. You couldn't really avoid it. I think it's probably different if you are away in a different country, you know, like the last World Youth in Botswana. You know, it would have been a different experience in terms of social media and the environment there. You know, and Fiji will be something different again. If I go way back to whenever I was playing under 21, we were in Florida, you know, and that was a different ball game as well, because netball wasn't really as well known in America at that stage. So it's a totally different experience each time, but then it's a massive opportunity for the girls whenever they, you know, get to experience that, and then, you know, where that sets them on their netball journey, you know, going forward.
And do you meet many fans, many young people out in the World Cup? Do you get people asking for autographs? Is it like being famous walking down the road?
Do you know what? I think the England national team had, a lot of fans, and I think they had a much harder job going out to get a coffee than some of us. But yeah, it was amazing that people were interested and, you know, recognised some of the team, and, you know, just it's amazing to think that you're those sort of role models for those girls, you know, and you wouldn't really have thought that. You're just thinking about, you're going to training, you're going to play your match, you know, how you recover and get yourself sorted for the next game, whereas that's a big deal for those youngsters, and how that can inspire them to, you know, get involved and continue playing.
Fantastic. Great to pick your mind about all things World Cup and international netball. And before we know it, we could have chatted for hours. We're straight back into the game. They didn't even wait for us. So England back on the court with the centre pass. There are some changes. We will bring you those as soon as we have them. But we predicted that there would be some changes, didn't we?
We did. And for England, we have Rebecca Airy is going on at goalkeeper. Alex Heisley has come on at wing defence. Barry Neal has moved out to goal attack, with Amelia Roscoe coming on and goal shooter. Jazz Parsons has moved into centre, with Hannah Williams coming on at wing attack. And then another few changes for the Ireland team as well. So Jenkinson moved back into goalkeeper, with Aisling Sweeney coming on at goal defence. Niamh Reynolds has moved to the bench. Oh no, sorry, she is staying where she is. Murphy has moved, come on at goal attack. Sorry, at wing attack. Anne-Marie Jenkinson has come on at goal attack, and Melanie George has come on at goal shooter.
So almost a full line change up. Did you expect them, the Republic of Ireland, to change all of their bench players on?
I thought that they would change in the shooting lineup, maybe just to see if they could find if Melanie George would be a different target in the circle. They were finding it difficult to get the ball into the circle and into shooting opportunities, so it makes the England defence think something different, and there she is, she pops away her first goal. And England will be wanting to keep that momentum going that they had built in that first half as well.
Anne-Marie Jenkinson, incidentally, is the sister of Holly Jenkinson, so both sisters on court together.
And that was really nice from Ireland there, just using the space around the circle edge, opening up Melanie George again under the post. And a lovely rotation by England up the other end. And Barry Neal slots another one away.
Just off balance on the sideline. That time for the Republic of Ireland. Good drive by Hannah Williams into the pocket, opens up Barry Neal. Oh, beautiful ball. So the feeding that Yaz Parsons was doing before, Hannah Williams has taken on that role. Oh, good option there by Erin Peters. Saw the defence and just popped it over. Just unfortunate there for Murphy, couldn't quite keep it in. They're doing a better job, aren't they? It's just that putting Murphy on extension a little bit too much down in the Republic of Ireland attacking third. But again, as a new combination on court, you'd expect a few teething problems.
Just taking that time to find their range, finding what's going to work for each other. Ireland doing a good job on defence there. Lovely interception by Jenkinson. And again, that's what we were talking about in that last quarter, about that build-up of pressure. You could see that England were passing the ball wide, passing the ball across, and then maybe just forcing that ball in and giving Jenkinson the time to get on it.
Oh, great take by Rebecca. Which was unfortunate because the play preceding that was really nice, wasn't it?
Yeah. But she did a really good job of just coming around the shooter just to get that hands on the ball.
Rebecca Arey, another seasoned player we've seen in the Super League quite a lot. She's come to England age groups. Oh, well held there by Aisling Sweeney. Some strong challenges in that third at the moment. Oh, unlucky. And that's that backup. Rebecca Arey didn't quite get it, but then Zara Everett went on the next one.
Again, being forced wide and then having to give that long ball under pressure.
Closing speed as well of Yaz Parsons is incredible, isn't it? So that long drive isn't going to work. Gonna have to lose her first. Great defence though. Nice triangle there between Yaz Parsons and Hannah Williams. Oh, just a little bit too much on that pass. That's just that landing space, isn't it? When the ball is in the air and the player goes up, catches the ball, you need to give them their landing space, and actually just in that space. Better defensive pressure here by the Republic of Ireland. It's not moving as fast, is it, for England anymore? See what they can do with this opportunity. Nice patience and good front cut. Anne-Marie Jenkinson comes out of the circle really well, doesn't she, to open the space. And a lovely placed ball by Murphy. Eve Reynolds is down. Back on her feet, she's just shaking it off.
It was a good strong drive to the top of the circle, just committing Jenkinson to the foul there.
Hannah Williams at wing attack is actually the England under-21 captain, so she'll be playing again next weekend at the under-21 championships. So busy week of netball for Hannah.
Yeah, and I think there's a couple of players, it's 4 players on the England squad who will be featuring in the under-21s next weekend. I know there's some of the Northern Ireland players will be competing both weekends as well, and I'm sure is there some of the Welsh players will be double timing it too, potentially.
I don't think there's any of the Welsh players. Oh, great patience.
And that's Anne-Marie Jenkinson really committing the defenders by doing another strong drive there and opening up George for another.
And she's a real games player, isn't she, Anne-Marie Jenkinson? We've seen her at the Open Challenge competition that was held in March. She is also a touch rugby player, so she plays touch rugby for the Republic of Ireland as well.
Yeah. And that's the thing, you'll find that the netballers, like, it does have a lot of transferable skills, and the likes of rugby, I know we have a lot of Gaelic players and basketball players as well. You know, there's all those transferable skills that you can bring into another sport.
Republic of Ireland just being patient
until that last ball there.
Commentator's curse.
Yeah. Although they have another shot at it here.
Good cover there by the wing defence.
And it was one of those ones where she just filled the space, just put doubt in the mind of the feeder rather than actually picking anybody up. Yeah. So Ireland seem to be finding George a bit easier under the post there, and they've got 6 in this quarter,
which is more than they scored in the last half.
Yep.
So certainly seems to be working well for them, this lineup at the minute. Oh, well held, Williams. Parsons just seeing the space over to Amelia Roscoe, who sinks the goal. Oh, coach killer.
But you can also see that England are still stepping across that line very aggressively. So Ireland are trying to anticipate it and just getting called for the for breaking the line. That was a nervy pass in there. You could see that the Ireland defenders were both committed to that front player, and then Neil recognised that the back space was on.
Beautiful shot there by Amelia Roscoe. And all of their shooters have been strong, haven't they?
Yeah. I think they've been getting high percentage shots, and they've been taking their chances and just putting the ball away. Which is great because it's rewarding all the turnovers, that the defence have been getting. And that's what's obviously going to win the games.
So again, Republic of Ireland happy to recycle the ball, but struggling to find the circle edge at the moment. The re-offers are always popping forwards, aren't they?
Yeah. They're having to go back to the transverse line.
Oh, unlucky there. Strong take by Emery. Couldn't quite find Mel George at the back. Gives Rebecca Airy the ball back for England. Strong take by Zara Everett. Oh, footwork call. See, all the players for the Republic of Ireland were quite high then, weren't they? And struggling to get that depth.
Rebecca Airy recognised that ball was going to go over. And great pressure again by England. And they've come away with it.
Yeah, good pressure there. Jenkinson doing a really good job on Roscoe, keeping her right at the circle edge, which allowed Reynolds to play onto that ball. And she'd played for that right from the beginning. Nice middle there by Anne-Marie. And that is 3/4 time. But a better performance that quarter by the Republic of Ireland. Sees England on 59, Republic of Ireland on 11. So overall a better quarter.
Well, I think it was for the start of that quarter for Ireland. They got those 6 goals, but then probably in the last 4 or 5 minutes, they stopped the scoreboard ticking over. They maybe started drifting back into how they were playing, in the first half as well. England, I think, will be happy enough with that. We're still creating turnovers. I think Gaz Parsons was super, just driving the ball through the court, and again, her placement of the pass for the guards to drive onto, was excellent.
So 59-11. I won't ask you if you think Republic of Ireland can win this. But what would be a reasonable target for them to be trying to hit now?
Well, I think they got 6 in that quarter there. I think that if they can get 10 in this quarter, they started off, they kept, I can't even remember if it was off their centre pass or if it was off those turnover balls, but just being able to bring that ball to goal, if they can get 10 opportunities in this last quarter, I think it would be great.
And the tough thing is, it's hard work, isn't it? At this point in time, when you're tired, actually you've got to play front ball when it's like this, and you've got to play short give and goes, and the work rate of that is so much higher, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I think we find that there that, they would do a couple of short passes, and then it is that pressure starting to build, and the work rate is building, that, okay, you just want to force that long ball, and that's when we've been given those turnovers then.
Don't forget, you can get in touch with us, #AnyOpen. We would love to hear your comments. We still have another game coming up for you today at 4 o'clock. Northern Ireland take on Wales, and now that is a hotly contested game, isn't it?
I think that's going to be a fascinating matchup. So Northern Ireland coming off the back of the World Cup. Wales, this will be their first time out since their home test series just before the World Cup, and both teams very familiar with each other, so it'll be really interesting to see how it's going to pan out.
Yeah, you definitely want to stay in touch for that one. We both would put some thoughts on the fact that it will be a lot closer. Tomorrow sees Wales take on England at 12 o'clock, so you'll see this England side again out at midday tomorrow. At 2 o'clock tomorrow we have the Republic of Ireland versus Northern Ireland, and then Sunday Wales take on the Republic of Ireland, and our final game at midday on Sunday is Northern Ireland taking on England. So still lots and lots of netball for you yet this weekend. Teams getting the final bits of input now from their coaches for this last quarter. Both will want to finish strong so that they can go into their next games with a nice feeling, rather than that feeling of, once you've come off the court and had a bad quarter. So this will be quite important, won't it?
Absolutely. And it just sets you up for the rest of the games over the course of the weekend. So Ireland take on Wales tomorrow? No.
Republic of Ireland take on
Northern Ireland. Yeah, so they'll be wanting to go into that having confidence in what it is that they're doing, confidence of their play, and then obviously England will be looking to just consolidate on their plays, on what it is they've been working on, so whenever they come up against a much tougher game tomorrow against Wales.
So we see them coming back onto court. There are some changes. When we get confirmation of those changes, we will let you know what they are. Big final quarter for both teams, to see if they can really dent the scoreline. Republic of Ireland and England will want to see if they can really push on hard.
So the changes in this final quarter: Rebecca Airy has moved out to goal defence, with Halamat Adio coming on in goalkeeper for England. Alex Heisley moves into centre. Jazz Odoberan is going into wing defence, and Sienna Rushton has come back on into goal attack. On the Ireland team, we see Genevieve Slater has come back on goalkeeper. Holly Jenkinson moves out to goal defence, with Aisling Sweeney moving to wing defence, and Erin Peters has moved into centre. So Niamh Reynolds just taking a break in this last quarter, and I think it'll be interesting because she's been involved in all the plays. She's a great link between that attack and defence.
Erin Peters, quite a young player, but a very competent one. It'll be interesting to see how she handles this pressure moving to centre. A new partnership in that shooting circle for England, but so far all of their partnerships have worked quite nicely, so something they've obviously trained for. Great take there by Rebecca Airy. She's cutting the line to the ball nicely. Unlucky there by Jazz Odeberry and couldn't quite keep that in. A great front hold as well there by Mel George. Kept in by Marie, but rolls off the sideline. Will be an England throw-in. Beautifully weighted ball into the circle. And again, trademark of what we've seen from this England side. That centre pass defence for Republic of Ireland has been really good.
Yeah, it has. Unfortunately, we've just seen Peters going down, and it looks like it's an ankle or knee injury.
Yeah, she's taken a bib straight off, hasn't she? So I was just saying that centre pass defence, they were doing really well on the first second and well on the second, but that second option was always being allowed to put through, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think England do have that patience where they know something will open up, so they're content for option 1 to go through, option 2, and then finally it'll open up in the last second then. So
we're seeing Erin Peters being helped off court. This will be quite a blow for the Republic of Ireland because she is a young player, one with lots of energy. She's got various release points. She can pass really well off left and right, get round defenders. And she's been really influential, hasn't she, on being back up and being there on the line.
Yeah.
So it's sad for them to see her come off. And it looks like Niamh Reynolds won't get that break that she was hoping for. We hope that Erin recovers quickly and that it's not anything too serious, hopefully just a tweak. Nice ball in, good space.
Nice shooting by George. Her timing is just really nice, just opening at the right time whenever Murphy was catching that ball on the circle edge.
It'll be interesting to see tomorrow who they start with, considering how well Mel George has come on, won't it?
Yeah.
It's always tough to pick a starting 7, I'm sure, as a coach. But when you've got the experience of Jan Hines, it must be tough to get on court for Mel George, but she's certainly been proving her place.
Yeah. Both Ireland defenders or attackers just getting caught behind their defenders, so leaving no option for Niamh Reynolds other than to pop the ball over, but England again just able to get that interception. That's always the risk whenever you do swing the ball, that the attackers then have to try and get that front space to make it effective.
So ideally it'd be a predicted swing rather than a forced one.
Yeah.
Footwork call there. And again, lots of Republic of Ireland players all in that middle third. Oh, beautiful ball.
Well held, Mel George, and puts that one away as well. Do you know what? There seems to be a bit of urgency just about the Ireland team at the minute. And that sort of intensity where they're punching onto the ball has been really good.
I think the injection of Anne-Marie Jenkinson as well has really created more of a link here. They're playing more as a unit rather than playing as individuals. And it's just that game's brain again, isn't it? But Rebecca Airy again, as the name suggests, in the air and out with the ball.
Lovely roll there by Roscoe. She recognised that's where the space was, and perfect timing.
Nice putt by Roscoe as well to Rushton. Her timing on entry and speed of entry is phenomenal, isn't it?
You can see both Rushton and Hannah Williams are flooding down into that space. So for the Ireland centre pass, they really need to be quick to just get it into that attacking third.
Good front run again, but Rebecca Airy just coming around with that arm. And that's the difference in timing between the two circles, isn't there? Oh, great chase by the captain, Neve Reynolds. Caution given there for Audio Brim. I don't think she'll be too worried at this point in time in the game, will she?
I don't think so. But you can see that Adio and Airy are just starting to make their mark in that circle now. Ireland just finding it a bit tougher to get those openings again.
And it's a constant battle, isn't it, between doing one thing and then when the defence reads it, then you've got to change it what you do again. And then the defence reads it and you've got to change it again.
Yep, have to have plenty of tricks up your sleeve. And again, that's what we're talking about, being technically sound, at knowing what you can do and being able to deliver it under pressure.
Oh,
great hands there by Hannah Williams.
And getting round those arms, that's the technical, isn't it? You're just having to do so much work to get free.
So whenever that ball is going into the pocket there, the England defence are doing such a good job of being between the ball and their player, so Ireland just don't have an option then.
Oh, nice arms by Genevieve Slater.
I think England, all the players were just going towards the ball, so Ireland were able to put up that bit more pressure and get the turnover. But just unfortunate not to be able to reward it.
There's a real battle going on in that circle between Roscoe and Slater. Timing is just on point, isn't it? It's so hard to defend. You've really got to restrict the space, haven't you, as opposed to be reactive when the timing of the opposition is so good.
And you can't afford to overcommit to one thing, because then it'll completely open up. Lovely lunge there by Roscoe, and then just able to offload that ball.
Great rebound there by Slater.
One of the things Slater does so well is once she gives that ball off, she is driving forward again. Oh, lovely hands there. And you can just see that she pulled her hands round just to flick that ball back into court. Lovely timing by England there, right up into the circle, with Rushton just opening out on the baseline.
Ooh, just slightly overcooked on that one. And do you think they'll be noting errors? I mean, when we're talking about a game that's such a big scoreline, and we talked about things that they'll be looking at from their team, not necessarily just the scoreline, what kind of things will the coaches be looking at?
I think your centre pass is always the time that you have possession. You can do exactly what you want to bring the ball to a goal. And those kind of errors I would just seen there are the sort of things they'll be looking to count up and cut out. And then also once they are getting those turnovers, how many times are they able to bring those to a goal? There may be set plays they'll be looking to see, can the girls put into practice, like, you know, setups for centre passes, setups for if somebody is out of play, outside the circle, inside the circle, and were they able to deliver on those? Just a few more errors creeping in now. So 3 minutes left to play now.
Good pressure by Republic of Ireland.
Lovely drive there by Jenkinson on the baseline. Both defenders out of play. George is able to pop another one away. So 72-16 with just over 2 minutes left.
Ooh. There's a couple of long balls now, isn't it? They've gone astray. Oh, great hustle by Jenkinson. Great change of direction there by Neve Reynolds.
And a strong take.
Oh.
We've seen that quite a few times up this end, where the shooter is holding their space maybe a bit too aggressively. Nice rebounding by Slater.
Oh, just a little bit overcooked on that pass. Hands up, she knows she's still up. Time called there for the Republic of Ireland, which sees Anne-Marie Jenkinson going to the bench and Frances Duffy back on at goal attack. You could see Anne-Marie Jenkinson was limping a little bit on that left leg, so possibly a good time to call time and rest it if she's just carrying a little niggle. She's an experienced, as we've said, player in many sports, so she will know her body well.
Yeah. And this is a 3-day tournament, so players will be keen to rest their bodies, but just a contact call outside the circle, and Roscoe taking the shot from distance, which we haven't really seen England do throughout this game. Goes possession back to Ireland.
It's just got a little bit scrappy on court, hasn't it?
I think we're in the final minute of this game.
Oh, but then a beautiful take, but obstruction call further back.
And you can see England want one more interception here.
And there it is, in the form of Rebecca Rary at the back. All teams aware of the time. Oh my goodness me. And that is the full-time whistle here on our first game, with a rather large scoreline of 73 goals to 16.
Yeah, I think England will be delighted with that score for their for all their girls getting their first cap, first run out at senior level here. I think Ireland will maybe be a bit disappointed They just weren't able to capitalise on some of the opportunities. The defence I thought was super, regardless of who was in the defensive end. They were turning over a ball, but it was maybe just a bit of miscommunication and just missed shots up at the other end.